Yo, yo!
I guess you don't knock.
So, is Gabby gonna be here for this time, or? She just hasn't been answering any of my calls.
When did you get Gabby's phone number? When did that happen exactly?
When did I get yours? I probably got, because then it would be one day before that.
It's content with Shane Hartline. It's content, and the special guest today is Luke. And the whole thing's gonna be practice. Practice. We're talking about practice, not the game. Practice.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to. Sorry, you said what's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Content with Shane Hartline. Special guest this week, two-timer.
The Two-Timers Club. I get a jacket.
Yeah, I know. It needs to be a couple more.
It'd be like 69 times.
69 times you have to do for a jacket.
I like that. Let's set that. Luke Null's back, everybody. Luke, thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to content.
I want you to make content with me today.
Now that I can promise.
What's good, man? I'm going to continue setting up and we can just have conversation.
Been doing the road a lot. Got back from Portland. I'd never done Portland.
Oh, you'd never been to Portland?
I'd never been to Portland, and I just went to Portland last week and I had so much freaking fun.
Portland is pretty cool.
I liked it. It was like Diet Coke Seattle.
Now,
Yeah.
saw you went to Voodoo Donuts.
Everyone flooded my Instagram, was like, you
Voodoo
chose
Donuts.
wrong.
Really?
Well, people, I can understand that it's like overhyped, like line out the door kind of thing, where I'm like, people are like, you should have gone to this. I'm like, I don't
Who
care
gives a shit?
enough.
Yeah.
I walked to there from my hotel, so.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I went to the market. Now, here's the real trick that I feel like you'll appreciate this. I took the train in from the airport in Portland, and Portland is known for having a lot of goofballs, right? There's a lot of keep Portland weird, right? As I'm riding the train in, I look around and I'm seeing there's a bunch of people that are dressed up in like Jedi costumes, and there's like a bunch of Sailor Moons.
Is there a convention happening?
There's a Gandalf, and I'm like, I'm like, what's going
yeah.
on? And then we stop at the convention center, and it's Comic-Con, and I can see this massive river of people flowing down the road, and I'm like, oh, it's Comic-Con. I was just being judgmental of Portland being having a high goofball per capita ratio. But then all these people get out except...
Oh, so you thought at first like, wow, Portland is really weird.
Yes. But the thing was, everybody that was wearing like anime costumes and stuff like got out, but Gandalf stayed on the train. Like he was just like going...
Because he wasn't in costume. He was just real
that's
guy.
What I'm saying. That guy's really just Gandalf all the time. And I was like, this rules.
So there's a Portland Comic-Con?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Too many Comic-Cons now?
I mean, is it not just like a traveling thing?
I guess it is.
It
now.
must be.
Because it was just New York for quite some time.
Well, San Diego.
Oh no, San Diego was
the
original.
big one. I got my San Diego Zine Fest shirt on.
Did you end up going to the Comic-Con though?
I've never been to a Comic-Con. I feel like it's not my... I'm not against it, but I don't feel a magnetism to go. There's a lot of people there that like camp out because they want like the promotional material from like Lost season 6. You know what I mean?
But what would that fan, if you went, what would the fan be that took you?
What would be
So say for
I
me,
do love Lost. I do love Lost.
Lost.
But that wouldn't take, I guess, like you said for you would go for what? Wrestling?
Yeah, if there was a wrestling thing at a maybe.
Is there any, why would there be wrestling at a Comic-Con?
Exactly. There's wrestling conventions.
Right, exactly.
Even wrestling conventions I don't really want to go to because
the people?
probably
Shane took me to a amateur wrestling event.
Oh, we should talk about that.
Where was that?
That was at the Burbank Airport. And there's a Actually, there's
It
next
was at
week's,
like a Ramada Inn conference center that they had fully taken over.
Next week's guest on the show, Leroy Patterson, notoriously used to wrestle for that company. I got us tickets to Extreme Pro Wrestling.
It was awesome.
It was a deathmatch event. I'm former professional wrestler. I've been involved in wrestling. I've never attended a deathmatch event.
What's a deathmatch mean?
It like what you saw, so like barbed wire, cutting, blood, just it's like horror, the horror movie of wrestling. It was just never something, even when I was involved in wrestling. Obviously, I didn't want to partake in it, but I was also never entertained in it. I just think the more with wrestling, I feel as an art form, if you do that kind of stuff, like what is next? Where do you go from there? Because even that night, we left after what was still, I think, 1 or 2 more matches, and I'm like, what more can they do?
They couldn't tell.
Give them some examples of like some of the things you saw.
So there was definitely ones that were like flashier. Like it was a lot of tube light smashing, and like at one point they had like a bunch of they like did a timeout. And they had guys tying like fluorescent tube lights all around the ring so that when they entered the ring, basically anytime you got thrown into the ropes, you were getting thrown into broken glass. Like these guys are just fountains of blood by the end of it. Like
we're at the furthest back in the room you could get.
There was one guy who was like poured out all these tacks, and then they like body slammed a dude onto tacks. It was one of those ones that like, that had to be so fucking awful and painful, but it didn't look that like bad. You know what I mean? Where you're like, that had to hurt so bad, but it doesn't really look good when you're standing outside of it. You're just like, oh, that had to suck. But
I'm excited next week to dive into conversation with Leroy. You know, not only was he involved in deathmatch wrestling, he was involved in backyard wrestling. So much so that I think he was featured on the Backyard Wrestling home videos, and he notoriously has been on like America's Got Talent, like falling into thumbtacks, and I'm like,
the thumbtacks thing, I'm just like,
bonkers, man. It's bonkers. Like I'm excited to dive into his brain a little bit and see like, you know.
But you're right. Where do you go? Like after someone is like a fountain of blood, like where do you go from there? And I'm just like chugging White Claws the whole time.
We were so drunk.
Yeah, I'm just getting through it. No, honestly, I had a great time. Like as somebody that doesn't really know shit about wrestling, I was having a great time.
It was fun. I mean, it was more fun because it was us and we were just like super drunk and it was just silly goose time. But
the people watching it was
very fun
too.
Very fun. But speaking of like, where does it go from here? Is like in wrestling right now, even in like AEW, like one of the bigger companies, they just had an event where they had like a cage match, kind of death match, where a guy put a fucking syringe needle through another guy's cheek. And the wrestling community is kind of like, hey, we don't want that because where do we go from here? Like, we don't want to see you guys kill yourselves. Like, is that the evolution? I mean,
it's body horror.
It is.
Kind of
body horror. It's full on.
Real, but like,
there are people that have like their backs pierced and they can like hang from hooks. I remember I went to school at OU and they have a big. They're famous for their Halloween. So the whole town shuts down and it's like insane. It swells to like 3 times the population for this giant Halloween celebration. It's crazy. But one year they had this couple getting married as they were hung from meat hooks on their back skin.
What is the message what are you trying to do there?
I think it's just like you're like a look at me kid that like never received attention, and you're like, well, what can I do that really will get them? And you're like, meat hook back.
No, regardless though, that death match was super fun.
That was super fun. I would go to one of those again. It had a smell to it.
Oh yeah, well that's the same.
That's just the Ramada.
That's
Truly, that wasn't on.
That's the Comic-Con smell. That's the wrestling convention smell. That's that smell. That's the
unshowered guy.
Like, hey, just shower.
These like reptiles emerging from God knows where to come to these events.
This dude. You comfy, bud?
Bros.
Okay, let's get this thing started. So the first thing I wanted to bring up is I went and saw Slipknot last night.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
I pushed my fingers into my...
Well, it was their 25th anniversary, and so they played everything from their original album. I'm not a huge Slipknot fan. I went with my sister and Lexi. Shout out. Thank you for the tickets. She's a big fan, but I went, because I was like, oh, this is going to be a spectacle, and it sure was a spectacle. But the thing that I took away from it that was crazy was it was at the Intuit Dome where the Clippers play. This big new fancy.
Is that down in
Dome Arena near where
SoFi,
Kia Forum and SoFi, all those places.
I didn't even know it was open yet.
Yeah, I guess it must have recently opened. I didn't know anything about it, but the thing that's craziest about it is, so to get into this place, you have to, it's kind of a headache. You got to like join their app and create an account on their, like, within their system. But when you do that, you can like walk into the building without having to show a ticket or anything, because there's scanners and cameras and people holding iPads that are like, you're good, go, you're good, go, you're good, go. And then it's a little scary. Even scarier, you can also go up, grab a drink. I would go up and grab a drink and I'm like, where do I pay for this? And then someone's like, oh, you've already paid for it. Cameras. They're just detecting any cameras everywhere. So it's like
the thing at the airport where the checkout list thing. Have you seen some of those?
Yeah, those new things.
I always feel like, am I doing this right? I'm eating these Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
I'm always buying Pop-Tarts.
But yeah, I mean,
but Slipknot put on a fucking show.
Slipknot put on a great show, but I was more taken aback by the fact that this is our future. This is where things are headed, I think.
I saw some picture of some guy wearing a AI facial recognition proof helmet or mask, where it's like
hides you from cameras.
Yes, from all angles. Like basically it like blurs out your face, but you can see out of it.
I want one that can like put other faces on my face.
Yeah. Always having Darth Maul's face. Yeah. I got a Darth Maul thing where I can just kind of exist in the world as Darth Maul.
Anytime I snap my fingers, I become Darth Maul. How have you been, man?
Been good. Been on the road a lot. Yeah, just did Portland last weekend. And it was a hoot. Mm-hmm. Got Cincinnati coming up. I'm excited for that.
And your special, I don't know how much you can talk about it. It's picture locked.
It's all done. We're shopping it around right now. So my team blasted it out to all the big dogs. But if I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet that I'm selling it.
You always sell yourself so short.
Well, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
I'm proud of it. I'm proud of how it turned out. It looks great. I'm excited for it. I just don't know if a streamer is going to bite. But that's not the end of the world if they don't. I'm excited just to like put it out.
You have a really solid Sprite bit in it.
There is a very special cameo, and there's somebody plays
Steph
the
Tolev.
state of California. Yeah, Steph Tolev. Yeah, I'm crediting you. Shane Hartline plays the state of California.
I love that.
That'll be IMDb-able.
That'll be one of my featured IMDb credits. 100%. Did you like the experience of doing a special?
No.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from everybody. I met up with a friend before this, and he had recently shot a special, and I just was like, "Well, how did you like the experience?" He's like, "It was a nightmare."
Yeah.
I'm like, Did you get to a point, like, what was the point, like, that you, and I don't want this to feel too interviewy, this is like a genuine question, like, as a comedian, when did you get to the point, or what was the point where you're like, I need to do a special? Is it that, like, I've been doing this material for too much and I need to...
I think it came out of it feels like it's ready. It feels like it's ready. It feels like I need to put it out in a thing. And then, like, to me, it feels like I'm ready to retire all those things and kind of move on. I thought you were about to say retire, period. I'm ready to retire. I'm ready to hang up the cleats.
Me too, man. Seriously.
Put my jersey in the rafters. Yeah. No, I think nowadays it's just like everybody and their brother is doing a special, you know? And I felt like I do think that it is a validating thing to have here's a nice, well-produced piece of my work, which I don't have right now. And I'm I think I should do that.
It's going to be a great calling card for you, man, or just like, I don't want to say proof of concept, but kind of like...
It is, though.
Proof of like what you can do. Like, you want a Sprite, Kyle?
No, I'm good.
You good? Okay.
Are you ripping Sprites?
Yeah, man, I got you one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Little baby Sprite.
You know what they should do with Sprites? They should come out with Sprite with caffeine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're right.
Sprite?
Yeah.
What would they call it?
Sprite.
Sprite.
just throw a little
Sprite
accent
plus.
agu on that.
Sprite. It's got a little extra.
It's got a little extra sauce in there.
Extra spice.
But I'm curious, why do all energy drinks have that beer and sweet tarts kind of funk? Even your Red Bulls and your Monsters
Are
have
you getting to this to try to get into my Monster addiction?
I'm getting there. But I'm thinking why if you're Red Bull, like why didn't we go, let's just let's make it not taste like full-on chemicals.
I think it's because of all the packed
Even
chemicals.
not that this isn't just chemicals.
But I think there's far more chemicals in like energy drinks.
Yeah, when you look at the back, like, it's got all the guarana and taurine. It's like that. Is that real?
You don't need bull balls in your body. I mean,
did you ever have ball? You had Balls energy drinks.
Oh my god, yeah.
Balls was the or the alcohol one though, wasn't it? Am I thinking of
No,
something?
you're thinking of Buzz Balls.
Buzz Balls.
No,
Balls are Four Loko, yeah.
Those are way more cursed.
Balls I never had.
BAWLS is what it's called, and it had a
okay. This is a
tactile-
good question. What is the worst thing you've drank, like as far as like an energy drink, or I mean, because what he's trying to get at and expose me a little bit is back when I was younger, I
want to expose him.
That's all he comes here to do. Last time it was my fucking Jackass.
I love that
Jackass
gang.
gang. But no, what he was trying to get at is like back in the day, I did have I'm a very much, and Kyle knows this, I'm a caffeine junkie. I've tried to make it a little bit healthier and like taper off, especially recently. But back in the day, it was real bad. I was definitely a subject of the Monster energy drink addiction and craze. Like, but there are literal chemicals in it designed
To addict you.
to make kids addicted, and I was a subject of that. I was never.
Now what was your poison of choice? You like white monsters?
I found the white monster later because
You came upon white monster later.
it just felt appropriate.
Autobiographical.
I started with the low carb one because I was wrestling and I was like, oh, I can't have all that sugar, but I can't have all that other deadly shit. No, I went through many years of like being too into it, cutting off, being too into it, cutting off. It's been my vice for quite some time. But like there are so many, especially back in the day, I don't think it's as much as it used to be, but remember like there was a phase where there were just so many off-brand energy drinks. Like
C4.
I think there was one like called cocaine.
I think so.
Like, I think Soulja Boy had one.
Coca-Cola literally had cocaine in it.
And in the original formula.
Well, at your zenith, at your absolute worst monster love, what was your peak usage?
3 a day.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner monster.
Dude, I would go to work. I'd have one before work. I'd have one after my lunch break. And then I'd have one at night. And I could fall asleep. But I never drank coffee. I didn't drink sodas. It was just water and Monster.
I feel like
it's fucking horrible. Horrible.
I like that. You know what though, with monsters though, you know what's in my head?
I was shredded though. Maybe there was some secret to the bull balls in it.
Yeah, it's to the bull cum that they put into there. There's something to be said too about like, I feel like if I look back, I'm like, I definitely have had times where I'm like, I didn't even log that I drank 3 Red Bulls that night. Or like, especially like college.
Think about
Red Bull vodka.
Four Locos. Did you ever go through Four Locos?
Oh, yeah.
I never did. I witnessed, and the original formula before they changed it, because literally people's
hearts were stopping.
Fucking dying. I witnessed so many times though, and to be very honest, it was very entertaining. Friends drink 1 can and go blackout drunk.
Yep.
I shouldn't say that it was entertaining, but
if you drink 2, you're gone.
It was fucking insane.
If you drink 2, you're out like a light.
Yeah.
I remember going to a party at the University of Dayton, and they had just announced that they were changing the formula.
Was everybody bummed?
The dude that we went to this party of a guy who went and bought a pallet of the original formula.
I did that with Arch Deluxes. I still got a freezer full of Arch Deluxes from McDonald's.
Oh, is that real?
I was like trying to make a bit out of it.
Well, I was like, what is? I'm like,
I've
never heard of that.
McDonald's burger from way back in the day.
I never heard of that in my
Arch
life.
Deluxe?
Never heard of it.
It was an old saying. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, but I would.
He bought how many?
He bought like a pallet, like a stack of, like, you know, a sheet. There were like 5 or 6 sheets of 60 cans of them.
I'm beginning to feel better about my Monster addiction.
But what I was
former
getting at,
Monster addiction.
to put a pin in the Monster thing.
I have one more thing about Monster I want to talk about. But
and I'll keep talking for Loco too. But the Monster energy drink versus, I was like, oh, well, Red Bull's not as bad because Monster comes in like the mega can.
It's significantly less caffeine.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know the
Red Bull, I believe,
I've
is
drank
one,
so many Red Bulls
one
before.
cup of coffee.
Oh, it's got to be more than that. It's got to be more than that.
I'll look it up, but continue.
But I remember going to the Four Loko party, and they were beer bonging Four Lokos.
Sheesh.
And the guy whose house it was, he was like fully offline. Like he was no longer logging new memories. He was so deep into he had drank like multiple Four Lokos, which again, any human being, 2 is a night ender. Like you do not need to drink 1. So let alone 2 is so bad.
Same amount as 1 cup of coffee.
1 cup
Red
of
Bull,
coffee?
yeah.
Really? Damn, I thought it would be more.
I did too.
But
Originally, until I found that fact out.
I feel like, I remember the guy took a beer bong of a Four Loko and then immediately went to vomit out of his window, like his kitchen window, but the window was closed. So
He's in 2 glasses.
just purple vomit, instant. Four Loko. Ball's energy drink, though, that was like the video game store. I feel like they had like a deal with like GameStop to sell
I never got any of
exclusively
those.
balls.
I was like, I'm staying on the high quality shit.
Some part of me kind of misses the like mid 2000s video game store experience.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a part of the culture of just there was what specifically?
I kind of miss like the idea of like taking in a stack of games that you paid $45 a piece for and getting $6 for them,
and always being bummed that they're undercutting you.
But then I'd be like, all right, but then you go over to the wall and you can like, there's something fun about like seeing all these like used video game wall where you're like, maybe I'll grab that.
Did you hear GameStop is opening a GameStop retro store? So it'll be just old consoles and old video games.
That's fun. That's cool.
It's cool, but they're putting out the mom and pop retro game stores.
But is that not what they pretty much already like?
No,
who's
they're only
buying new games hard copy? You buy them all on your console and just download that shit.
It's very true. One more Monster story, and then we gotta. I legally have to change subjects. I think it was 2006. It was like the peak of my fucking ridiculous Monster addiction. With my Wood and Steel comedy group, we entered this, a friend of mine, remember we went on the Monsters when we went to Orlando, that radio show?
Mm-hmm. We're here to get our pap smears.
So I was like listening to them big time. That was when I was first like kind of listening to them. And some of my friends that were on the show at the time, they were doing a Halloween episode. And so my friend was like, hey, if you guys have any costume bits, and you guys want to come in and be on the show, you could do it. And like back in like, to me, anything that was on the radio or TV, I was like, oh my God, this is going to change our lives. I put so much, I held it so highly. So I came up with this bit that I was going to dress up as the host and wrestle my friend in the studio. And so we did it, and we had a good time, and we ended up, it was a contest, and we won the costume contest. And I didn't know this at the same time. I think the winner was going to get VIP entrance into some event that evening, but you had to be 21 and up. On the same day, the show was sponsored by Monster Energy Drink, and they had just come in and brought in all these pallets of Monsters. So I said, hey, being that we're underage, can we just take some Monsters home and call it even? They're like, yeah, whatever. And I know that they thought oh, he's going to grab a couple cans. Me and my friends walked out with 6 pallets of Monster Energy.
Giant fucking
I'm like, let's go. Hurry. Go. And my friend later was like, we didn't mean every Monster that they brought for our show. So apologies to the Monsters. I owe you Monsters.
I do we went to, we did shows in Central Florida, and we went to this radio station where you have history. You'd been on multiple times.
And the host, I've met this host.
I'm more putting the host on blast, not you on blast.
Absolutely. And at this point, I expect nothing more, but I have met this host 6 times minimum. Every time, he never remembers me.
This guy is a creature though. I like to imagine that he is shackled to the chair that he's in.
And he's stuck in the mid 2000s. Like,
he is a human Monster Energy drink guy, but he is the mixture of, and this is going to be a deep cut reference. He is the mixture of a Jabba the Hutt mixed with the little guy who sits on Jabba the Hutt and goes. His name is Salacious Crumb.
Yeah. I'm gonna crumb.
Salacious Crumb. And if Shane, if you edit this later, put in a Salacious Crumb graphic
right here between us, sitting on the. Got it.
This guy is this little weird monster who I assume is chained to the chair that he's in.
I've only ever seen him in that room.
The lowest possible energy guy for a show called like Monsters in the Morning. But you were like so nice to him. You're like,
I came in costume every time. That's why he doesn't remember me.
Oh.
I actually have been on the show over the years, and you like rattled off. You're like, I wrestled.
Moments.
I did this. And
I
he's
once
like,
boxed on their morning show as Santa and my buddy dressed as the Easter Bunny.
You
and
knocked him
I knocked
out.
my friend out cold on their show. And he still didn't remember me.
He was like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally no, like the animatronic Jabba the Hutt's lips were able to move more than this guy. He was like, oh yeah, I think I remember that. he gave us nothing. He gave us 0% reaction to anything, and I'm just like, this guy is not taking in the world around him at all.
No. I'm so glad that you noticed that.
Oh yeah,
that's what I feel.
He's a shithead.
But it was cool because my friend Carlos, who he's not on the show anymore, but he was the other guy on the show that was way more present. He's a really good dude.
Yeah, the other people have to pick
Makes
up that slack.
Worth it. But yeah, morning radio is brutal.
It's a unique.
And I don't know
relic of
that
the
it
past.
makes a difference
None.
for shows anymore.
No.
I can't say that the shows we did probably anybody came from listening to our.
Yeah, no one's like, oh man, I listen to Monsters.
And I
in
was
the morning.
sold. I was sold. Y'all sold me. I'm coming to your shows.
First of all, they let us on, like it was nice of them to allow us to come promo our show.
Absolutely.
But in order to do it, like we came in, how long do you think we were on the air for? Under 60 seconds.
It was
like 2
less
minutes.
than 10 minutes, definitely.
We
both did leave like thinking like that's not going to sell a ticket.
What was our bit? We had a terrible bit that did not land.
We did. We pushed it on the both of the things
pizza?
we did. No. It was that whoever comes to our show is going to get a combination of our sample.
That's right. We're going to give you some of our sample. It's going to be in a Dixie cup.
And you'll be able to tell the difference between mine and Luke's because Luke's is orange.
Is absolutely electric Nickelodeon orange. Yeah. But we mix them together.
Oh no, we said we were going to impregnate somebody.
Yeah, one person at each of our shows will become pregnant.
Yeah.
It will be, of course, if you would like it to be.
Yeah,
where
it's
no
up
one's
to you.
getting pregnant against their will.
With
but
your
anyone
consent.
it's a consenting thing. But anyone who would like to be pregnant, you get put in a raffle, and then we're not going to have sex with you because that's not our style. We're going to hand you a Dixie cup filled with sample.
And that's the same still goes for this podcast episode. If anybody's listening, like
anybody who wants to be pregnant,
consenting,
again, we want to make sure that it's a 50-50 split of who
right to the address on the screen,
right to Salacious Crumb.
And he will send you his sample.
And his sample will be mixed into the Disney cup, and again, or into the Dixie cup. A Disney cup would be different.
We probably shouldn't say Disney cup.
Yeah, it's a bigger cup. Well, they own Star Wars IP at this point. I think so. It's kind of on brand, but yeah, we would mix the samples together. But again, you would be able to tell that whose is which because mine is so
you could
orange.
sift through if you wanted a certain sample, like if you wanted just my sample or if you wanted his sample.
Yeah, you would. If you wanted his sample, you would try to get more of the part of the glop that is off-white.
Glop.
And then if you want more of the glop that is electric Nickelodeon orange, that would be my sample. And we did this on the radio show.
And another show after.
Yes, we did two audio platforms, both of which gave us absolutely zero reaction. They were like, okay,
I think our mistake,
you guys are going to be...
I think our mistake was beforehand, we're like, let's play this as true, like play it real. So both of the reactions were I think that they thought, like, are they being serious? Like,
You're like, what is going on?
yeah, maybe next time we should add a tinge of comedic
Yeah, we'll go,
tone.
hey, we're going to be goofing for the next 1 minute of time.
Yeah.
We're going to be goofballing.
Get your finger on that sound effect board.
Yoing, 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 yoing. I do lament the days of not that I ever listened to early morning like shock jock radio, but I do kind of think that those were simpler times.
Oh yeah. And they still exist. Like, I mean, that show is still so popular in Central Florida.
How? Who's listening to that?
I mean, the same people that like
you were listening to that?
when I would work for my dad's company and like
Driving to and from work, I guess there is
to and from work, but also I would work with other dudes that
just had the
was
radio
just
on.
their target audience, and like I would be working with them, writing with them, and like that was the station. Everyone listened to it. But not only like when I worked for my dad from like 2006 to 2011, but even before that, like I would work part-time for my dad in like middle school and stuff. And like the same guys worked for my dad for years. Listened to it since the early 2000s, dedicated fans.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I worked with a guy who was really into the Howard Stern show. And then the Jason Ellis show too. And like Opie and Anthony and those kind of that era. And I remember like having to ride around in this work truck like all summer with this guy listening to these things. And I was like, I could see how this rots your fucking brain out. Not to say that there's not like funny moments from all these things, but there's just like a lot of bad filler.
Yeah, and I think that like I don't want to know. I'm not knocking the monsters. Like I still have friends that work for that show. He is. I still have friends that work for that show, so definitely like not knocking them. But I do think the moment I, started listening to podcasts and like different conversations that might, like they can't. I get why. I will say though, Carlos, my friend that worked for the show at the time, he would have segments where he would, get into a little more in-depth conversations with a little more depth and heart or whatever, a little more intellectual conversations.
Something else going on.
But I do understand why, like, that morning radio conversation for the most part, like, they probably don't want to get too deep and kind of keep it kind of light.
Even if you're being funny or you're being silly, there's something about the morning radio thing where it's like, it has to be a like 2 minute, 30-second long thing before you cut to like, Bob's RVs.
Yeah.
It's like you're having to come in so short and like these little chunks, and often like you're taking like phone calls, or you're doing like pranks and like, we're gonna tell your wife that you got sniped in Iraq. You're like, what? It's
Well,
like,
I mean,
we called your wife and told her that you got sniped.
Do you remember that?
Please don't.
Yeah, that's too far. Do you remember that chick that died on that?
That'd be so fucked up. That's the morning radio show. It's just these prank phone calls. Man, hello, is this Miranda Gray? It's like, yes.
Oh my God, I just had a memory of a... Did you do prank calls back in the day? Like, so when I was doing my wood and steel stuff, there was this site called Stickam. Do you remember Stickam?
Stickam. Shout out to all my friends on Stickam.
Stickam was like...
What
it was like Twitch
Stickam?
before Twitch.
Okay.
So it was the first streaming site. And to me, that at the time blew my fucking mind because we were able to have a live show. So we started having a show on Stickam, and we were the only real show that was doing a show. Other people would just like talk to a chat, and it was fucking, there was no
boring
substance. But I saw it as an opportunity to like, we're going to start doing a weekly, every Thursday night we did Wood and Steel Live. So it was
fun.
It was fucking cool
Taking
because we would
advantage-
do like,
I remember you telling me about
we
that.
would do segments and bits, and I bought a phone line where people could call in and ask us questions on the show. It was fucking great. But man, one of the most fucked up things I ever did was I did a prank call so somebody was watching and they're like, here's my little sister's number. Prank call her. I did a prank call. Oh my God. I probably still have footage of this. I know I still have footage of this.
Your mother is Penny, correct?
Yes.
I'm a part of a secret government organization, and your mother is a part of it. And
I acted as the government, or I acted as like an FBI agent or something, and I was like,
we're coming to your house right now. We have a, excuse me, I've got a cold. Sorry. All right. Covert op mission. Your mother Penny was a part of this. Was a part of this mission, but we have to pull a quick 476 and excuse me. Your mother has approved this.
I have to go to the doctor tomorrow to get an MRI.
I guarantee you will be back for your MRI. Trust me, your life will change after this 476, but it is a desperate 578 in New Mexico that needs to be handled black on black.
What?
Look, your mother is not who you think she is. She's not even a female.
Who is this?
My name is John Black. I'm part of the Black on Black organization of the U.S. government. Stephanie?
I'm about to have a panic attack.
You're just a little kitty cat?
I said I'm about to have a panic attack.
You know what? I have other people on my list.
Like, too
Really
fucking
dark.
far and
Really dark.
I have someone else on the list. I'm gonna call them. We'll pull the 578 with someone else. Good night, Stephanie.
Dude, that was the prankest of all pranks.
That was me. She's crying.
God, that was so fucking...
Good content.
I mean, yeah, it was great content at the time. It was one of our...
Content with Shane Hartline. He will call you your house and tell you that he's the FBI and that your family got sniped in Iraq.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, there's now...
That's pretty dark.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
I bet the chat liked that, though.
It was one of our most viewed videos at the time, and I think it was featured on MySpace. But do you have any funny pranks, phone call stories?
I feel like we did pretty standard. Like we would prank like friends a lot of the times. Like especially like back in the day when you had like the days of like remembering your friends' house phone numbers by memory. Like that was part of like prank calling the numbers you knew.
Okay.
Or you know like because back in the day I feel like you were only dialing 7 numbers, like you weren't really doing area code, right, on house phones.
Yep.
So you could just put in random numbers and just randomly print, which we did. But the ones we really loved doing was the E-Bombs World soundboards.
Oh my God, yes.
Who is your dad?
Who is your daddy?
What does he do?
Yeah, there were some classic ones of
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil, yes. There was but the ones that we got like people to like really believe were the Howard Stern soundboards. Like, you're on the air, this is Howard Stern. People were like, what? And like you like they were like pre-recorded, like you could trick people into thinking that they were like had won some tickets or a content, like it was literally like Howard Stern calling their phone. And that's like
really funny.
But it was always hard because you had to like listen to it, you know,
and
hit
some
the
quick.
sound. Yeah, you had to be really nimble with your E-Bombs World soundboards. There was a Duke Nukem one that was pretty good. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
I'm gonna kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
Real quick before we get to video idea, did I ever tell you about my Harry Potter prank that we did?
No.
Okay, so back in the day, it was 2010. I think it was part 1 of the 2-part final movies. The last 2 Harry Potter movies. Are you familiar?
Yeah, yes.
So the last 2 movies were 2
The Deathly Hallows.
Deathly Hallows. They were part 1 of 2. So it was the night of
bald money grab is what we called that. They were kicking themselves, going, "We could have done that. We could have.
Could have done it all in one." Is that what you're saying?
No, meaning they were like, "We could have made so much more money by cutting all these fucking movies in half."
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like it was just like you didn't need to cut it in half. You cut it in half so that you can make more money.
100%. So it was the day of the part 1 of 2 premiere. It was like the day that it all came out. It was like a Thursday night, and we were doing my Wood and Steel live streaming show. And
I do remember you talking about this.
I did this thing where my buddy called a local movie theater as Rupert Grint's manager.
Fully insane.
And he said, long story short, he said, "Rupert Grint's in town. I fucked up. I was supposed to call theater because he wants to come and surprise some people at one of the premiere screenings. But I fucked up. Can you guys, we're on our way.
Rupert Grint is en route.
Rupert Grint is on the way. Can you guys like just throw something quick together, make a sign that says, 'Meet Rupert Grint.'" And they're like, "Oh my God." They agreed to it. And so
they had to print it out.
In that moment, we were like, "Oh shit!" So now we got to go. We got to see this, and we just have to act like innocent bystanders and watch this thing happen. And then on the way, my friend who made it even more fucked up, he calls back and he says, okay, how are we looking? We're running a little bit behind. How are we looking? And the theater owner was like, well, we've had to start screenings. And my friend goes, don't stop them. Stop the screenings. And also he said, he said something like, well, tell people if they want to come or whatever, we understand. But we're on our way. And he said, what does the sign say? It says, meet Rupert Grint. He said, fuck, I told you to put meet Ron Weasley. So he made the guy change the sign. We get there. There is a hand-painted sign. Because my buddy was like, who's your best artist? And he's like, get them to make the sign.
And then the word got out on Facebook.
On Twitter and Facebook. So we get there and there's like 50, 60 people in line.
Up.
Some people left their theater. Some people left other movie theaters. There's 50, 60 people in line. Girls come in shirts of Ron Weasley. And we just show up like we're just here to do the same thing. Of course, he never shows up. So all of us get a free private screening of the movie right then and there.
I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. This is huge for me. There's like 20 people here.
This is a really long, hard way to get a free ticket for a movie.
Extremely, but it's worth it.
And then, obviously, this gets a little traction online, and we become forever banned from this movie theater. We're lifetime banned from it.
How'd they find out that it was you?
Because the video went out.
Oh,
we put the video out.
On Stickam.
No, I ended up making a YouTube video of it.
Now, you do remember Babe 25 from Stickam?
Mm-mm.
How did they tell you that you were banned?
One of my friends worked at the theater.
Do you think we should make a follow-up video where you go back and covertly go see
I probably could, I'm sure.
Mr. McGorham's Wonder Emporium 2 or whatever.
It is unconstitutional for you to ban me from your
Yeah. I'm back.
What, sugar? What did you say? Babe.
Babe 25 was a famous early YouTube, like she was famous for the booty rocking in a well.
Rocking in a well.
I found you, Miss Magoo. Put it together, bring it back to me. She was on. There was another viral video that she had where she kept referring to all my friends on Stickam.
Hold on. Your neck is like choking up the mics.
There you go. Sorry. Thanks, man.
Here we go. Yeah, good call. Yeah, they're really gonna want to hear this loud and clear. This is where she got up really close to the camera and she goes,
give it to the camera.
She goes, this goes out to all my friends on Stickam. Oh, this stain on this pillow?
Oh yeah.
That ain't pee. That's squirt. And then she puts her mouth up to the camera. I'm not gonna do it where she goes, you just gotta keep doing yourself till you came.
I'm good.
I remember that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
See them stains?
That
ain't pee.
That's squirt.
That's squirt.
That's squirt.
But she was always going, shout out to my friends on Stickam, and someone would write Stickam counter. Like it was the amount of times that she mentioned Stickam.
Oh, that just like gave me so many flashbacks of like.
But I never went on Stickam. I only knew Stickam from Babe 25.
Okay.
Shout out to Babe 25.
I definitely like was big into Stickam. Like, yeah, it was Twitch before Twitch.
Did it die? Did they like? Get
Yeah,
rid of it?
I think it eventually closed.
That's sad. A lot of those old sites were like, in the moment, they burned so bright.
Yep.
Like the Zangas. Every kid I knew had a Zanga.
What's a Zanga?
Exactly.
Pre-MySpace.
Pre-MySpace.
Oh, really?
But it was like a blog.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, it wasn't a big focus on pictures. It was more of a focus on writing, like posts.
Oh, okay.
And so you could have, it was like, it beat MySpace to like, you had like a little profile thing and you had like a top 8 friends. So you could see, remember like the MySpace top 8?
Yeah.
Zanga had that. Set the precedent where it's like, these are your friends that you want to like showcase, these are your friends. You could put a song on it. It was very much MySpace before MySpace.
Okay.
But it was way more like, encouraged you to write like a journal, like almost like a live journal.
That's cool.
But it finally closed and I'm like, thank God. I went back and I found my Zanga. And before they scrubbed them, which thank Christ. Because I made mine when I was like 14. And I remember my profile, like my bio was tragic. It was like, hey, what's up? my name's Luke. I do theater. I'm not gay though. I like hanging out with my friends and like, but with my dudes. But it's like, but I'm not gay. Like multiple times in my bio is me like,
but I'm not gay.
Overcompensating that I like doing theater, but I'm not gay. Which like it just read as like the gayest kids.
Like, oh my God,
it was tragic.
My
like,
MySpace picture that I'm so glad doesn't exist anymore is like one of the ones that I'm thinking of was I went through a phase big into like Jackass, Viva La Bam, obviously. So I was definitely trying to look like fucking Ryan. So I had a bandana, my hair was long, and then behind me I edited in a skull with a monster logo on the skull. I'm like, oh my God, what was I going through?
Oh, my profile picture on Zanga was me with one of those button down like Newsies caps, like turn of the century like button down hat, and I had a thing of Smarties in my mouth. Like I had a big giant of Smarties. And I remember just being like, this is the worst. Like, this is, please kill me. Really brutal.
Before we wrap up, well, first of all, thank you again for doing this for the second time. First two-timer.
Getting my jacket.
We're getting close. 69 when we get there.
Nice.
We gotta do an intro song for you with Kyle, but also I thought of a loose video idea because I thought we could recreate similar like we did the first time we shot like a fake intro where you walked in the door, but we could also make potentially a video out of it because I thought of a video of your wife's friend who's more than a friend. So it's like you show up and be like, "Where's Gabby?
Where's Gabby at?"
Oh, Gabby's not here?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, wait, what? yeah. So we shoot an intro, but I could use it also separately for something. Does that make sense?
Yes. The intro is what's throwing me. So is it?
So the intro of this content episode. So it's like you coming in. I will shoot it right now, but I will edit it and put it at the top of the episode.
Got you.
So then we'll start.
Got you. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So if you have any ideas for, I mean, we could just improv it, but like if you have anything beforehand, add some spice to the bit. I
do. I mean, I like that as far as like your friend who likes your wife too
more
much.
Than me.
Yeah.
Your friend who likes your wife more than you.
Is Gabby gonna be here soon?
Just because I wrote her the song.
I just been working on like stuff for her.
I can't wait to fuck you. Yeah.
Shane will die someday. Shane will pass away. Yeah, we can do that.
I don't know. It's something I'm working on.
Something I've been. It came to me in a dream.
That's perfect. Let's do that.
That's it. Okay. That's all.
So start outside. Bring your guitar.
Okay.
Because I do like the idea of you wrote a song for her.
Just brought something over for her.
I'll start right here after. I think Luke's about here. Oh. You did?
Yo!
Oh. Normally... Oh, I don't want to look at the camera. Normally you knock when you come over?
I don't. I've been here enough times.
Okay, come in. I'm excited for you to do the podcast, man.
I'm so excited to be potting, and I'm glad that my boy's here.
Yeah. Do you need water or anything?
I want a tiny can of Sprite.
Got it. Okay. This one's already opened.
Oh, I like an already opened tiny can of Sprite.
Have a seat, man. Have a seat.
Thank you so much. I brought my own guitar and I came loved up. I hope that's cool.
Yeah, exactly as I told you to. Appreciate it.
I always come loved up.
What's good, man? Welcome back to Content.
Oh, how many Monster Energy drinks did you drink?
It's been a bit. Are you good? I feel like you have a weird energy.
No, just... Where's Gabby at?
We could get into this in a different way.
Yeah, I was confused if this was part of the video or not.
This is the video.
Oh wait, yeah. This is that.
Yeah. Do you want to redo it?
Yeah. I thought this was the...
Don't cut, keep rolling.
Because last time you did an intro of just me coming over.
This is what I'm using as at the top of the episode.
Gotcha.
And a video of like, do you get what I'm saying?
So it's both.
It's both. Yeah.
And that makes more sense.
Okay, so just knock. Or you don't actually, I like you walking in. That was funny. So yeah, enter whenever. Take two. All right, I think Luke should be here shortly. Excuse me. Oh shit.
Yo, yo!
I guess you don't knock anymore.
I'm beyond knocking. Sometimes you can just sense that it's time to be here.
What's up, dude? Welcome.
Hi,
Have a seat.
Sam.
Welcome back to Content.
Oh my God, it's so good to be back here.
Two-timer, man.
The two-time club.
Yeah.
So, is Gabby gonna be here for this time, or?
So Gabby's at a bachelorette party this weekend.
Dang, she's probably having so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, I assume it's pretty fun. But
where is she? She just hasn't been answering any of my calls.
You call Gabby? You guys talk like that?
Yeah, we call, we chat.
Because I don't even have Caitlin's phone number.
Yeah, I don't mean either.
You don't have your wife's number?
I don't have any reason to talk to her.
Yeah. Okay.
Just I see her at home or whatever, so.
Oh, that's so, okay.
I kind of get the download.
When did you get Gabby's phone number? When did that happen exactly?
When did I get yours? I probably got, because then it would be one day before that.
You got my wife's, so you got my wife's number before mine.
Yeah. Well, I got her husband's number the day after.
Okay. This is so dumb. Okay. Okay, so dumb. Okay. I gotta get it out. Oh man, it's probably done. Okay, hold on.
That's right. That's so stupid.
Well, shit. That's 1 second. So I'm texting Gabby right now because I didn't know that you. So did you know her before me? This is all news to me.
Yeah, I got her number a day before I had your number.
Okay. I guess that's fine. I mean, I just wish I would have known that ahead of time. That's cool though. It's all straight.
Yeah, we're cool like that. Like I got her husband's phone number a day after.
I'm her husband.
Right. Yes. Because you guys are together.
We're married. You were one of my groomsmen.
Oh yeah, and I'm technically was one of her bridesmaids, but I was on the groom's side.
Oh, again, news to me. I don't know that is a true statement, but
kind of like how your sisters were on her side.
Mm-hmm.
It was similar.
No, my sisters were on my side.
You're right. Then I think I might have been on the wrong side.
I feel like
I think I got lined up wrong.
I feel like you're here to see my wife.
I would love to. Is she gonna be here soon?
No, she's not, Luke. We're here to do a podcast, and
it just sucks. I get excited because, like, you know, sometimes you come over and like your friends have a smell. Like sometimes it's just their like laundry or whatever they use. I like have like a sense memory of like I was like Gabby's here, and so I got excited.
Well, she also lives here, so
I think that's why.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited to see her, and I was really fired up to share with her a thing I was working on.
You wrote a song that you wanted her to hear. Sure. Okay.
But it's not really for you.
Well, I'm gonna put my foot down, and as her husband, I'm gonna say I want to hear the song.
It's just something that came to me in a dream and it's not finished or anything, but it's just something like I've been kind of working on, and I'm not like locked into it yet. But I figure I'd share with her what came to me in a dream. Someday Shane will pass away, then we will be together. Someday Shane will die, Shane will be out of the picture, Shane won't be in the picture. Shane will be gone.
Okay, no. All right, get the fuck out
I'll
of my
see
house.
you later, man. So just call me when she's here.
Yeah, great. Get the fuck out.
Do you want the law back?
No, that's you can keep it.
Yes.
All right, everybody. That's another episode of Content with Shane Hartline. Your special guest this week, my wife's best friend, Luke Null. Let's do.
That's the most I've ever seen you laugh. That is so
I like where you're like, wait, you have my wife's before. Well, technically, I had her husband's a day after.
It's just more of a TED talk than an opening song. Where's Gabby?